Hey, and welcome to another live stream. I am Taylor, aka John Maybach 503, aka Maybach Gaming United, and I made another drift cross. Actually, I made two of them, but I also made a playlist called Drift Cross, and I also have a playlist called Stream. So today, after I check on this, I'm going to be doing the Drift Cross, playlist, and then depending on what time it is, I will be doing the the stream, playlist. So, first I'm gonna check on my business, and it is poppin', sweet. Let's freaking do it. And press start. My playlist. Let's go Drift Cross. And let's freaking do it. La da da, la da da. Hope everybody's week started off pretty good. It is Monday, so you know some people don't like Mondays. I happen to like this Monday because I am actually off all week, baby. I am off until sometime next week. Don't know yet. Schedule hasn't been made for my work. But, yeah. So, hopefully lots of live streaming. Depends on if I go fishing or not. But, hopefully some live streams will be coming out. I will be doing Sniper Elite, hopefully this week. I didn't get to it last week. I know I said I was going to do it. It is Sniper Elite 3, not Sniper Elite 4, so if you want some 4 gameplay, haven't gotten the game yet. I am going to eventually, not yet though. Sniper Elite 3 is actually really badass, but 4 is the one that I want. It is $60 though, so yeah. But yeah. So that was Drift Cross, the original one I made. Probably the worst one. I feel like they kind of got better as I made them. But yeah. There's only 5, so... There's Drift Cross 2, 3, 4, and then Super Drift Cross. 4 and Super are the ones I made today. They were pretty much right back to back. So, I'm full of liquor and they dive in me. I'm full of liquor and they dive in me. You bottles on fuck. You sort of very much. Swim in pool full of liquor and then they dive in me. Pool full of liquor and they dive in me. This is Drift Cross 2. I'm also going in order. So I set up the playlist to be in order. So, yeah. I think my favorite so far, I haven't actually like officially raced 2 or 4 and 5. But I think my favorite might be number 4. I should have made it where you had to wrap around into that little driveway. Damn. I may edit this sometime tonight, and I may actually change that. That's actually a good drift. Dancing that have to live through. What you gonna do? That was a perfect drift too. Now the only downside to drifting in GTA 5 is that you're not driving manual cars, so you don't have control over the shifting, so it's automatic, and also the brakes lock up like crazy. But if you get the technique down, you can actually drift. Like, kind of like that. That was more of just a random ass power slide. But still, you can still do it. It's just not really what you could do in like an actual racing game. But for what it is, it's actually pretty fun. Nope. That's the first time I've ever made that, and I hit that lady. Now, Drift Cross 4, you'll find out why it's my favorite, but Drift Cross 4 is a lap Drift Cross. Now, you'll notice that all of them are pretty much point to points, except for Drift Cross 4. And Drift Cross 4, the way I kind of made it was more technical. There's not really as many super tight turns, really, but it is more technical turns. To start it, once you, well, actually I'm not going to ruin it, but it really is not a true drift style. There are some elements that you'll find out when I play it in 2 races that make it not really a drift style. But yeah. That was a good drift. Now this is the largest hairpin that I have in any of the drifts. In any of the drift crosses, this is the tightest and the most technical hairpin. So you gotta hit this just right to come off of it properly. I'm still trying to get it down, but it is actually probably one of my favorite hairpins that I made. Actually, it pretty much is my favorite. So. But that hairpin is definitely the hardest one to hit. And I leveled up. This is Drift Cross 3. Now this one's not one of my favorites. If I had to pick an order of most favorite to least favorite, it would probably go 1, 3. Actually, favorite to least favorite would actually be 4, 4, 2, 3, 5, which is Super. I didn't actually name it Drift Cross 5. I named it Super Drift Cross. And you guys will find out why when I play it. And then after Super, it's gonna go probably 3 and then 1. Like 3, I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I made it a decent setup, but it's just the road. The road is kind of annoying. So. Also, this Drift Cross is more technical driving, really. And if you've seen me play it before, you'll know why. But if you haven't seen it, you'll find out. Probably right about now. Once I get past all of this first part stuff, like right after this checkpoint, you'll figure out why it gets into technical driving and turning and all that. So once I hit this road, this little dirt road, that's when it gets super technical. So this dirt road is when it starts going from, really you can be kind of like, you can let the car go loose and all of that, to now you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. Like that turn right there, that is supposed to be, you're supposed to come into that drifting. And I mean, this road right here is probably the most technical road in the entire game, no matter what you're doing. But that turn back there, I made it an S style, simply because it is really hard to go from drifting to straightening out to drifting. So I kind of tried to make it like an actual like Formula 1 drift style, where you would literally come out of a drift into another drift. And that's probably the only S turn I have in any of them that I know of. I don't really remember if I made any. This drift, however, this drift has a weird little angle on it, because if you hit it right, you can come around, and those tires that I just passed, not the wall that I looked back on, but the ones on the left, after I hit that, right before I hit that last checkpoint, not the one I just hit, the one before that, if you come out of that turn correctly, or wide enough, you can actually drift, like, pretty much against those, and, you know, get a wide angle, and there we go. And then also those not the last two checkpoints, the two before that, you can actually go around. So that house right there on that corner is one of the ones you can buy, and you can actually go either around it all the way like I did, or you can try your luck and go the little shortcut way. I didn't make a secondary thing just because I figured that would be way too, you know, it jammed too much up, so I just made it where if you're paying attention, you can go either way, and if you think you can do it, then do it. So now this is number 4. This one's probably my favorite. So I'll do 2, and then we'll play. Now this is going to be really fun to do with my Sultan. Now the cool thing that I realize is this car is probably the best drifting car, but at the same time, if you don't put race brakes on it, you can drift pretty much any way you want. It is the best drifting car in the game, and you legit can drift however you want, as long as you don't put the race brakes on. Now see, the race brakes would have done right there is prevented me from sliding so much. But I don't have them on. I just have standard brakes. I don't have any of the custom brakes, so I can literally just slide like that. Race brakes, you wouldn't be able to even get that far, and race brakes with an e-brake typically make it where you can't actually where you can't really get enough spin. Now, the only downside to this this race is the fact that there are lots of speed gains. So there are a lot of areas and straightaways where you will pick up a lot of speed, and then they turn into really tight corners, and you actually have to drift on this one pretty much in order to hit them properly. Now what I was going to do is I was going to move these tires and make it where you could go to the right instead of the left, which is coming up. And so what you could do is go hit that checkpoint, go around, do a little, you know, circle, and then continue on. But I figured that'd be kind of stupid, and they're not. Those turns aren't really good for drifting. There's too many. The road is too close together to really do that. So now this is one of the spots I was talking about where you just get a ton of speed, and then you're gonna come into a giant drift like that. If you hit that wrong, that's what happens. And I've played this race once or twice before this to try to kind of test where you need to hit the brake, and it's hard to judge because each car gets its own speed, and it's, you know, it goes so fast that you got to kind of play with it occasionally. Now this turn you could probably hit the e-brakes on. Now that hairpin, I pretty much had I have the checkpoint too close, but I'm not going to change it. Now this is the most technical part. So you can drift, but you got to whip it back into place, otherwise you're going to get stuck, and you're going to hit the tires head on. Now this is another just full speed, this is just all about speed. This is a straight race pretty much, and this will tell you who's got the better car and better driving. Because that turn you can either hit a drift on, or just take it full speed, pump your brakes a little bit, and then take off. Drifting is probably preferred on that one. I didn't really do it very well. Now this is where the lap... Nope, see, there's a problem. The problem is you can drift on this one, but you gotta hit it just right, otherwise you miss that checkpoint. So now we're on lap 2, so now you guys got a taste of what this race is all about, and why it's probably my favorite. Now I'm just gonna stop talking and drive. Hope you guys enjoy the music. I do not own the rights to any of the songs that play, but I got 5 on it. Seems like as soon as I shut up, I can't drive. Also, I did notice something. I think it was in the Cunning Suns 2 update that they did. Damage on your car really affects its aerodynamics and how it turns and everything. I don't know if anybody's noticing that, but as soon as the very front end of my car became pretty much a point, it doesn't look too hot, and it doesn't drive as hot either. Now see, I should have hit the e-brake harder on that, but I didn't. And the e-brake really is pressure sensitive. So the harder you press, the more it applies. So I mean, this is fully e-brake. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just tapping it now. But again, the more you apply the e-brake, the harder it handles. So Here comes the most technical turn of the course. Oh, I hit that beautifully. Gangsta, gangsta. Alright, so now I'm going to try to show you how you can drift this turn. And that's how it's supposed to be, only you're supposed to hit it more clean and come into it. Not as sideways, but that was decent. Okay, let's see if I can hit this last turn. Nope. Oh well. And that is Drift Cross 4. And now we're gonna have Supercross. And this is Super Drift Cross. And now you can see why it's named Super Drift Cross. Now, I tested this with the Sultan RS, so I don't know how this is actually going to go. And I've got race brakes on this thing, so this thing is fully tricked out, so I don't even know how well this is going to go. Now, the Grotti apparently can drift to an extent because the brakes don't lock right away. So you're kind of gliding, and then you actually end up... Now see, the e-brake, you really have to press the e-brake. But eventually you're going to be gliding instead of actually drifting. So this is more... That's what most of the supercars are. You really got to cram the e-brake. Now, the hardest part about this race is actually coming up, and you will see why. Because if you hit it wrong, you are pretty much screwed. So, if you're paying attention, you'd know that the Vinewood sign is involved. It is in the... oh, shit. And I missed. So the Vinewood sign is very much involved in this race, and you have to hit it just right, which I did for the first time ever playing this game. And by ever, I mean I actually went through the D the first time I hit it. Typically it takes me about 10 tries. And then it gets into a drift style kind of thing, because these corners are angled in a way that they're obviously just standard stunt turns, but they actually are angled in a certain way, so that way they make you think you're going to eventually connect with the corner next to it, or below it, or above it, and if you hit it wrong, you get that. So you got to be very careful of this. This is a point-to-point, like I said. Drift Cross 4 is the only one that's not. Now, if you're actually using a Sultan RS, which is probably what you should be using on this, that turn back there is almost impossible to hit. That one where it just goes from a... It's an S-curve, pretty much. But pretty much what it is it goes from a straight to a right and then a left, and then a right again. And then you're kind of screwed. Now this, coming up, is probably the most intense part of this race. So this race is set up for 6 people. And this little hill that's coming up right here is going to be a make or break. I mean, the Vinewood sign is pretty much going to be a make or break. But this is also a make or break because at the end of this, you can see the military base. And it looks like you just jump in there. Kind of. If you got to angle this right, otherwise you're screwed. And that is the first perfectly angled jump I've done into it. And I'm the one that made this, so that should tell you a lot. And then now, you pretty much want to cut through there. And then you definitely want to try to hit this grass. As long as you hit the grass, you're okay. If you can manage to hit the pavement and land flat, show me how, because that's the hardest part to do on this race off a jump. Now this coming up is also one of the more special parts of the track. This is pretty much the ending. Hello, viewer. And this pretty much is a make or break as well. I made that perfectly, except for that. And that's what you get. And so pretty much you reset all the way back here. So if you don't make this and you're in first and the second and third place guys make it, you're pretty much done. Because these checkpoints right here, I kind of had to put there. But this road is completely unnecessary. So these checkpoints all lead to one giant drop, and no matter what, that happens. So that is Super Drift Cross, and that is the Drift Cross playlist I made. And that is that. Yes.
Shit. This is what happens when you don't pay the cops. The dirty bastards raid your business. Save your staff if you can.
Morse Mutual. How can I be of service? I'll look into it.
Hey, you know who it is. Oof, that was unfortunate. All right? The only advice I can give would be to upgrade security over there to try to protect against this happening again. Good luck.
Well, shit. That is really annoying. This sucks. That's super annoying.
How's it feel to be the founder of a star?
Oh, that's not even that bad. I can just fly there. Mm-hmm. And get rid of the evidence. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on. There we go. Hopefully. Nope. How come this doesn't light this on fire? The fuck? Alright, bitch, I'm gonna light you on fire. There we go. Come here, bitch.
Huh? I lost him?
And let's go. No, I cannot, buddy. Don't invite people I don't know. Home skillet. Yo.